Hello, everyone. My name is Andy Lemadonzela, and I am your host. Good morning, good day, good evening. From wherever you're joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to welcome you to the fourth episode of the AEN podcast. And we have an interesting one today. Today's episode is focused on the Africa Evidence Youth League. If you've not heard about us, where have you been? But also don't worry about it, because we will tell you all about us, who we are, what we'll do, and how you can get involved. So please make sure that you continue to engage with us on all our social media platforms using the hashtag AEN podcast. Without wasting any more time, I'd like to introduce our two speakers for today. Yes, we have two speakers today. So I'll start off with Bruce. So Bruce Chidi is an up-and-coming teacher, an evidence guru, and he's asking us to watch the space because clearly something is coming there. He's also very young, dynamic, and he is obsessed with cars. And then the last one is that he said he is blindly in love with soccer, but also appreciates humans just as much. Hi, Bruce.
Azad, how you doing, Andile?
Good.
Thanks for having me on, eh?
Of course. Okay, and then our second guest is Joy Banda. So interesting facts about Joy is that she completed level 1 in salsa. Would love to see her moves one day. But also she shares a birthday with her sister, which I thought was quite interesting. But also she's interested in all things development, aren't we all? Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Andile, and thank you for having us here.
Of course. So as the culture of this podcast, we are about to do icebreakers. Are you guys ready?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
As long as
you
we're
seem
not
very
breaking,
unprepared.
yeah, as long as we're not breaking anything.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Okay, so I'll start with you, Joy. Lucky number 1. So would you consider yourself a lemon or a lime?
What's the difference? Okay, I'd consider myself lemon.
Okay, you're a lemon.
Yes.
What makes you a lemon as opposed to a lime?
Lemon. That's why I asked what the difference is. Lemon, when I think lemon, I think, I don't know. It has a very cool color to it.
Okay.
Yes. So cool, calm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, get that.
I was a bit anxious. I thought you were gonna say bitter.
Bitter,
So
no,
it's like,
not bitter. Cool, calm. Yes.
You know, let me.
We don't like bitter.
Yeah.
Okay, and Bruce, what would you say is your superpower?
Superpower.
Yes, superpower. What is
Sleeping.
yours? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At any given day,
Yeah.
you'll sleep.
I will sleep.
We are that guy.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then back to you, Joy. So what would you title your biography if you had a biography? I think the greatest title to a biography is Will. So can you top that? What would you title your biography if you were to have?
I'd probably be, it would include the word curious in it because I'm quite a
Okay.
curious person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be the curious life of joy or something along those lines.
Curious life of joy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a cool ring to it. Yeah.
And then Bruce, what is an old person thing that you do when you do this thing? Like, oh my word, this is just an old person thing to do.
I'm not old, okay?
Okay.
I don't know why you're giving me that question, but I'm not old. Speak to myself.
Okay. We're speaking to
Walk with my hands behind my back.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I think quite a lot when somebody asks me something. Then I'm like,
Okay.
give this serious look, and
Okay.
then I frown a bit. You know how old people are like, and then nod and
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only 3 things I do. So nothing more.
I thought you were gonna say paying bills. That's such an old person thing to do. No,
That's our life, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yo.
true. You've accepted it.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, back to you, Joy. So, do you have any hidden talents?
Any hidden talents?
Yeah, besides the salsa, of course. Now we know about that
Yeah.
one. Which one don't we know about?
Ooh, I actually can't think of any hidden talents.
So you're not mysterious in any way.
I don't have anything mysterious. I don't have any odd body movements I can do. I don't know. I can roll my tongue. I don't know if that's a hidden talent.
Come, Joy, find something. I mean, don't make us academics look so dull and
When I
boring.
think of it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since you are encouraging Joy to
Yes.
have something,
Yeah.
tell us your best joke.
My best joke.
Yeah.
Guys, come, Joe, laugh. Okay, you're laughing. I told it.
Okay. Okay, are you thinking of one?
Yeah, let me think of one. Jeez, why a joke out of all things? I don't know.
Going once, going twice.
Gone. Gone.
So you owe us a joke. You
I
owe
owe
us
you
a joke.
at the end.
Yeah, you definitely
once
owe us
I'm-
a joke.
I'll think of something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Those are our icebreakers. Thank you so much for being good sports. So let's get right into it. So the Africa Evidence Youth League.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, the Africa Evidence Youth League was launched at Evidence 2023 in Uganda in September. It was launched within the program, the wider program of Evidence 2023. Joy had a nice pleasure. So myself and Joy had the very nice pleasure of being a part of the launch event of the Africa Evidence Youth League. So Joy, maybe you can reflect on how you found that launch. I was very intentional about planning it to be very fun and very engaging and not
Yeah,
very
you guys-
typical conference.
guys
But then
had
how
fun.
did you receive it?
Well, yeah, fun would be the word. I think it was a great opportunity. I think the first thing that comes up to my mind when I think of the launches, I think learning, right? So it was learning, but also as much as it was fun, there was actually learning coming out of it. So I think learning from each other as professionals, as young people, as people working within the EIDM space. So that's the first word that comes to my mind. And then I would also say diversity. I think it was very nice to have the range of cultures, the range of nationalities, but also the range of professionals, because then it was a teacher, you had researchers, you had people that work in policy. So I think that was another highlight for me at that launch. And then also the activities, again, I guess that's where the fun comes in, the group presentations, the group competitions that we had. I think, learning can get quite boring, but if you can infuse some activities in there, whether it's painting, whether it's having an actual competition around policy, for instance, around developing a vision for the AEYL, for instance, for me, I think those are the key highlights. And then I guess the collaboration aspect as well, the fact that we actually physically got to work together. And I think I would say that's probably one of the values of the Africa Evidence Youth League. So I think it was great that those values were also pronounced at the launch of it. So that was my takeaway from the launch.
Very nice. And then for you, Bruce, because now, like I said, the Africa Evidence Youth League was launched, and then we were able to take part in Evidence 2023, which was hosted by the Africa Evidence Network. How was that event, the broader event for you?
Yeah, I think it was actually quite interesting for us to be there, just to get a bit of a taste of, the evidence week hosted by the AEN. But I really found the sessions quite interesting and quite insightful about what's going on with evidence, the developments which are taking place on the continent. I was really intrigued by the decoloniality agenda, and how it came out so alive and so deliberate, I think it was quite enlightening, eh? And obviously to be around greatness.
Of course.
A lot of great people.
I agree. I agree with that.
Of course. And then what is the Africa Evidence Youth League actually? Because we are saying we launched it, but for someone who has never heard of the Africa Evidence Youth League, who has not seen our very cool videos and our very nice graphics, and who is not following us on all our social media platforms, what are you doing with your life? But then how would you explain the Africa Evidence Youth League, Joy, to someone who has never heard of it?
I would say it's a platform that brings together, a group of young people with interests within not just the development space, the evidence space, the evidence and decision-making space, right? And also in policy, right? So it's youth and young people that work in that space, right? So bringing together great minds, as Bruce mentioned earlier, right? With the goal the one is to actually inspire and also empower younger generations to be more involved in influencing policy, right? Because I think before, it's often the experienced or the experts, typically are the ones to influence decision. But I think engagement of the youth, which is what the Africa Evidence Youth League is about, is, a key aspect of what I would describe it as. So that's one component of it. And then in terms of what the Africa Evidence Youth, or how the Africa Evidence goes about inspiring people, so young people. So it's the different approaches. The one, for instance, is the manifesto. We are currently working on a manifesto which is targeted at influencing policy and education, right? And then also the networking, the fact that there was the conference and also the launch itself, that platform itself allows for networking, which again is a way of inspiring and empowering young people to be further engaged in EIDM issues, for instance, and in policy and whatever issues relating to development. And yes, in a nutshell, and collaboration, yes, that's another key aspect. I think I mentioned this earlier. So collaboration and co-creation. I think, again, the Africa Evidence Youth League is it pushes for co-production and co-creation. So everyone's opinion is valued. Everyone is requested to, give input in what they think about whether it's a challenge we're facing, what potential solutions we have, or what evidence needs to be generated to actually influence policy. So my understanding of the African Evidence Youth League is summarized that way. Those are the key aspects I can think of.
And would you agree, Bruce?
I definitely agree. And I think what's really important is bringing young people across the continent together. I think that idea of collaboration, co-creation, go hand in hand because we are the future. You often, I know it's a cliche, but I mean, guys, it's a given. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to be the evidence network leaders. And it's not really good for us getting to know each other 10 years later. Because we can start now building those networks, starting to shape the vision that we have for the future, because we often leave it to extinct people to shape the future and come up with the vision. And what about us? So I think those are vital points to bring out.
And as someone who's part of the Youth League, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to? I know that we are somewhat 2-3 months in, but what are you looking forward to?
The launch of the manifesto.
Yay!
Right. As the word says, manifest. They've been manifesting, guys. We're bringing about change in Africa, and especially with the education landscape.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for some of the projects that, we are proposing.
Yeah.
Hopefully Andile says yes to all of them and gets money for us so that we can bring them, out there.
Yeah.
And just, creating a footprint across the continent. I mean, that's the exciting thing. It's not a matter of us being here or confined to a single country, right? We can actually have such a wide reach, and then we can do it, So yeah.
And I think one core, it's even in our taglines that we want to nurture and amplify the voices of young people, right?
Yes.
But then if we were to say, what is that voice? What do you want to say to the world? What is that one thing that you continuously advocate for? What would that be for you, Joy, maybe?
The one thing I would advocate for is to be actively involved. So it could be, for example, this podcast that we're having. That's one way of being engaged, one way of being involved. It could be, contributing to a manifesto, for instance. It could be attending a conference and being a speaker there and actually having your voice heard. Because often at these conferences, you do have policymakers there. You do have the gatekeepers of government. The very people that actually draw up these policies that implement them. So being involved, in one way or another, I think for me that would be the one message that I would have for young people out there working in the EIDM space.
And for you,
and just to echo on what Joy said, I mean, I would say give us a chance.
Definitely.
It's and I'm interested in Joy using the word gatekeep, because literally, the gates are kept, and it just, yes, there's a bit of an impulsiveness with the youth. They were once there, by the way. They made some decisions.
Definitely.
You look back and you're like, what was I thinking? Maybe we weren't thinking. But that's how we grow, isn't it? Right? That's how we find ourselves. That's how we navigate around spaces.
Yes.
But if we are not given a platform and a chance to have trial and error, then we're never going to actually be given the energy, given the motivation to get involved. So just give us a chance,
Definitely.
And give us a chance to fail as well.
Yeah.
Because failure is a very important part of the process.
Definitely.
We can't fail 30 years from now, guys. Like 30 years from now, we must be getting things right. This is our time to fail so that we learn now and we grow.
Definitely. I would echo that as well. I
Yeah.
think it's just an echo.
Let's just echo.
I would echo that. Give us a chance.
Give us a chance.
Hashtag give us a chance.
Absolutely.
Right? And then what do you see the future of EIDM in Africa? And particularly looking at the continent's education system, because that is one of the core focus of the Africa Evidence Youth League. I'll start with you, Bruce, because you're a teacher.
Yes.
Give us something.
What happened to ladies first? I think it's growing. There's lots of potential, right? That's one thing for sure. And I think it's going to be something that we're going to adopt more. And with this growth, then comes change, comes innovation. I had a very interesting talk at the conference, about just a conversation rather about just education and the curriculum, for example. Does it echo? Does it reflect on what we need, on our needs as Africans? Sometimes the curriculum is really so hard. You know, we often joke about it. Somebody will post something on Twitter and say, I helped my child with an assignment, they got 0. And this is a person who's got a degree. And you're like, hi, what's wrong with this assignment? You know, you know, like, does it really reflect on what we want? And I think a very important part of EIDM is how it's going to help break, you know, or help decolonize the education space. It's a conversation which started a few years ago. It's something which is really close to our hearts in the education space, and evidence will help us. You know,
Definitely.
Africans had evidence before.
Yeah.
They had monitoring and evaluation, just in a very different way, but it's there, it exists.
Definitely.
And that's
They
the
know what
exciting
works.
part. Yeah, the future is really exciting, guys.
Definitely. Definitely. And for you, Joy?
I would agree with Bruce that it is growing and there's even more room for growth. And I guess that's where the role of the Africa Evidence Youth League comes in. So actually bringing in more and more young people, young and youngish people, you know, because that's the only way we can grow. It's like, you know, nurturing the talent that is out there, inspiring people, empowering people, providing opportunities to learn, grow, make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So I think, yeah, there definitely is, I see a bright future in terms of, you know, the use of evidence, especially through engaging young people in the process.
Yeah, definitely. And what would be your final words to young people? So young people that are younger than you guys, right? I'm sitting in high school or university and I'm watching this podcast.
Yeah.
What would you say to me? I'll start with you, Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, the cliche, education is the key to success. I
Okay.
think it's very important that we advocate for educationists, right? So educate yourself. It's not always in the formal sense in a classroom, although we really want us to have that, you know, get a degree, go further on with your studies, because that's how you will be able to develop as an individual, as a human being, and you better your prospects of a brighter future for yourself. But in any way, right, join this platform, you know, always watch the podcast, get the insights from it, because that's educating yourself. So I would really advocate for the youth to really educate themselves as much as they can. And again, there are a lot of opportunities out there to get involved. So watch the space, guys. Like, follow us, you know, support, like, you know, and spread the message. There's an African Evidence Youth League out there that's doing marvelous work. Thanks to Andile. I'm going to give you your flowers. Yeah. So follow us, guys. Cool.
Definitely. Joy?
I would say hold on to your ambitions and hold on to your ambitions. And I think being resilient, because again, you know, having your voice heard, especially as a young person, it's not always easy. So, you know, that can cause you to lose sight or focus of your ambition. So hold on to those ambitions, regardless of the circumstances, you know, regardless of the obstacles, and you will go far. And get involved in evidence, the use of evidence, generating it, using it, disseminating it. There are opportunities, as, you know, Bruce has mentioned earlier.
Sure.
Thank you for that. So I think those words to young people are educate yourself, continuously educate yourself, but also don't lose your ambition as well. I think I love that. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right,
We really appreciate you guys taking the time to come and share your knowledge as young people in the space. So like Bruce said, please do follow the Africa Evidence Youth League. We'll be doing some great work. And there's something that you will like, right? So please make sure that you follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on LinkedIn, and on Twitter as well. So please make sure that you check us out. Until the next episode, thank you so much.